So I have an interesting proposition for somebody, if they're the right size, I guess. These, I posted a video about a year ago, thereabouts, I think. They were an eBay buy that unfortunately the seller was not honest and claimed they were an off-the-shelf size 11E, and even the box, unfortunately, says the same. It just says 11E. It doesn't clarify anything. 6-inch front range, Wickett and Craig, English Bridle, medium brown, by the way. And even the shafts, if you look at both of them, or one of them or both of them is stamped, but they have 11E. Unfortunately, when I first got them, I thought they were strangely very big in the toe, both as far as the feel, like the fit, as well as visually. When I used to have at the time some White's 55 boots in 11D, and obviously it's E, so it's a little bit wider, but it shouldn't be drastically wider. I'll throw the photos up if I still have them handy, but it was a huge difference. Like it looked like a double E in comparison. And what I found later, taking photos inside of the boot, and I'll definitely throw those up at some point in this video, is this was a custom fitting. So it's really strange, and I think poor on Frank's part. I don't know if the other companies do the same. Well, I know Nick's doesn't even do custom fittings anymore, so it doesn't matter, but I don't know if maybe JK still does, but it really should say like fit 11E or something on the shaft, or some kind of asterisk or something to clarify it's not an off-the-shelf. I think they do I think the disservice to themselves and to the customer, especially in the secondary market, by not clarifying that in the stamp, and it just shows 11E. But the inside, tops of the vamps, basically, one of them says 12 and a half E, or I think 12 and a half, like with a line through it, like it's blue Sharpie, and then the other one says fit 11E. So clearly this is some type of custom sizing, and that's why the vamp's so huge. They're very, very big in the vamp. So, these honestly have been in the box for most of their life, or most of the time with me. I've only worn them, 10, 15 times max, probably like 10 times. They always felt a little too big, but I was trying to just see if I could make them work. One thing I did do is there's a Nick's leather footbed in here that I bought off Amazon around real after I got these. Without those, they're enormous. With the leather footbed, it makes them workable, but they're definitely a little too big in the vamp area. And what's peculiar too is these shafts are, not fit. Like, I don't know if the guy who this was fit for had kind of skinny ankles and then really splayed out toes or something, but I would say this shaft is about the same as like an 11D. And I don't know if it's just Frank's and their pattern's a little different, but it definitely seems like a little bit of a narrower shaft, especially considering how enormous the front of the boot is, I guess is really what is the contrast. So I wear these with a thick sock and that insole to try to fill up space, and then with the thick sock, it's like a winter boot sock. It's thick on the upper part, and it kind of takes up extra space, so then you can't even get very good closure on the quarters. It doesn't even. I don't think it even ties up this. Maybe it's slightly more open than this when they're actually on my foot with a thicker sock. If I do a thinner sock to give me a little bit more room in the shaft area, then I'm swimming in the front. Again, I'm 11.5D Brannock, so I guess these would be good for someone with maybe, I don't know, like a very splayed toe 11.5D maybe, or maybe a true 11E person with a very wide foot, but then they have to kind of also have a skinnier ankle. I'm curious, is there anybody and then obviously if you take the insert out, the leather footbed, I feel like somebody with like a 12E could probably make this work. If they're Brannock's 12E, assuming you have a kind of a skinnier ankle for that size foot. Or you don't mind, the quarters being, I guess, separated more. This is actually kind of more narrow than usual. Most of my boots, like my Knicks, I got a solid 2 fingers of space, and this, because it's so big, it's less than 2 fingers. So I guess it's also like an aesthetic thing if you don't care about like maybe a 2.5, 3 finger width kind of opening at the top. I don't know. So yeah, if you're watching this and this kind of sounds like your foot shape, let me know, because I kind of have the opinion that I feel like selling these on eBay, even if I describe this as sort of kind of passing on bad mojo, where it's likely the buyer, it's not going to fit exactly right, and then they're going to be upset. It's going to continue the same problem. So it's really more, I think, somebody who, I guess their sizing is what I'm describing, or maybe you've tried like a Knicks or Whites or Frank's 11E, and it wasn't quite wide enough in the toe box, or maybe your instep, whatever, like here was too tight. Definitely, if your ankle was too big, this isn't going to help that, because this ankle, as I'm saying, the shaft area is not bigger than usual. It's normal, or maybe even slightly small, but it's like nothing significant. Where the boot really gets big is about here on down. So it's not loose up here at all. If anything, it's almost like not big enough, considering the size, because I put the insert in. I think if I took the insert out and didn't have to wear super thick winter socks, then maybe there would be a little bit more room up here. But then from I guess between the third and fourth eyelid and down, this is where the boot's huge. So if your foot is really big up front, in like the vamp area, and you've had some experience with size 11 length, Whites or Knicks or Franks, and they wasn't big enough, and you were kind of having issues with sizing, and this sounds like what you're looking for, hit me up. My email's on my channel. Maybe we could work something out, because I don't know. I don't want to continue this problem, but I had some ideas of having these remade by like Unsung with like a relast to change the shape of the boot, but it's like I don't want to put any more money into this. It's just this is why if you're an honest person, and the guy who sold these to me on eBay, you sold me what you said was a stock size 11E, and it's not. So either you're shady or Frank's was shady with you. The latter is probably part of it, because this box was from Frank's, and the fact that it just says 11E when it's a custom sizing, according to the insides, kind of proves that maybe they just screwed up and they didn't realize it was a custom or something and didn't fill the box out right. But you didn't even stamp anything. I thought they're supposed to stamp like an asterisk or something in the collar when it's a custom sizing, custom fitting. But someone screwed up, and now there's this strange boot that is kind of smaller normal up here and super big for someone who's hardcore toe splay. But it's not a Munson though either. It's still a 55. It just has a hell of a lot of room up here. It honestly, it kind of makes me feel similar to the pair of Trumans I got in 11.5 double E. They're very, very wide at the ball, like hugely wide at the ball, and then they point into a, kind of a pointy toe very quickly. I think it's that 79 last, and just kind of how its vibe is. But I don't know if anyone actually has a foot that shape, but I certainly don't. It doesn't work for me at all. So maybe this would work for someone who's just kind of a wider ball foot shape, but their toes still kind of point in, because I've always found the 55 is a little bit of a pointy last. It definitely goes to a point more than, other stuff like the 67 and, I guess other normal boots that I've had in the past. Wolverine 1,000 Mile, Red Wing, Iron Ranger, Fry boots, just they kind of stay wider at the toe. It seems like these last really kind of point in. Anyway, yeah, if there's that person out there, let me know. Cheers.